Hey there, Aries. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe down below, baby. It is free as always. And if you would like to be notified anytime I post new videos, just ring that little bell out beside it and they will be sure to let you know. Also, share because you care. Thumbs up, like, playlist, whatever. Circulate to your enemies, friends. I don't care, somebody down the street. Whatever it is, send them the early Christmas present called Joy to the World. These messages are energy sessions here to help people level up. And when you put them to face themselves, because baby, we know I am just the microphone, the message comes on through and it provides the resonance and the clarity that they need to walk forward in the path that is their solarness, their sun, their shine, their beauty, their life. And when somebody's walking in that and they're satisfied and fulfilled, guess what they don't do? They don't jack around, they don't drama make, they don't backbite, they don't do any of those issues. It begins to calm down because the soul is well fed. Not off of somebody else's blood and energy, but off of their own. But that also goes for you. Then you're able to be free to step into your own time, your own energy, to level up into like some golden victory going on here. Breathe that in. Look at her. She's just like smelling fun like wine, baby. That's so exciting to know that that's coming in for you. But let me tell you what is coming in for us this week. They're talking about massage the ruby. I'm like, Aries, massage the ruby. And when they're telling me that, I'm like, oh, that's too risky, too risque. I don't know what I'm going to think. And then they showed me that good old Michael is coming in alongside with it. And I was like, okay, that can be some level-headedness. There's a sense of control coming in over this. That's not just going to run amok. Fuggery afoot just based on what we think we want to stir up here. We're not here to stir up dust, chaos, mess, even things that are titillating or exciting that burn us out and draw us off in another direction. This is not for distraction, baby. This is for you. This is for your pure joy, your strength, your truth to come in so that you quickly move forward in a time-wise fashion into your best, bold, bright, beautiful dreams, into the impossible ones. Those are the ones you bring to me. You bring them right here to yourself. Wherever two on earth agree, it is done. And that's what's going about this channel. That's what we're hearing about. That's the feedback we're getting. That's what happens when you leave me comments down below and color my world with your love, baby. So Aries, there's a bit of instability going on, some waffling and some wavering about, because that's what indigo is. It is unstable. It doesn't know whether to be light or dark, light or dark. And that's not the light or dark that we're thinking about. This is an energy pulsing forward, backward, forward, backward. Is that better? Left, right, grass is greener, grass is greener. You know, that battling, the indecision. So you never step into synergy. You're always in this division, this dividing, this wondering, this waiting, you know, two of pentacles, two of swords, that type of thing. And instead of having the union of two, there's the division of two, the waffling, the separation. In that space is where the noise, the clutter, the cost can step on into you. And we're here to tamp that out, to snuff that out, to put that down. And Michael's like, ready. He is standing here on guard for you so that you can tune in and get into this moment of your goldenest victory, into your divine permission of yourself, to align your divinity with your destiny, that you just slide right on in like mail through the slot, right? Like a key in the lock, coming right on in, hot, fast, and heavy. Now, Saturn is the one who led us into this week from the previous 2 weeks of energy, so there will be no shortchanging of you, friend. You're not going to miss anything vital or important, okay? Anything necessary, relevant, or fulfilling to your soul. You're going to get the shortcut without the short change. Hello. Okay, so the indigo is letting us know that in order to come into the divine order, we need to see clearly what's going on here. Now, mind you, this happened a couple of days ago. They came out and they sat. And I wasn't up here where I was working. It was somewhere else. And I'm like, why am I pulling cards? They said, just do it and put it there. So these have been tuning and being toned for a minute. And then this morning, they're like, okay, that's Aries. Let's bring it over. And I'm like, what? This now, get it and bring it over. And I thought, what is going on? What are you telling me? What is happening? And they're like, Joy, sit down and be the microphone. I said, okay. So they're letting us know you've got two energies going on around you. Remember, indigo. You've got that waffling, that wavering, that seesaw energy. So here we have 10, we have Ouroboros. We have the completion, the coming together in oneself, which opens your divine power, your permission, your unity, your treasury, the space beneath your feet, which is very much what the ruby is about. The ruby is, yes, that base chakra point at the tip of the sacrum, right between your legs, where it all comes together. That's where your earth energy and your heaven energy first kiss. That is the first union that touches, and it comes together to synergize and harness into one body, okay, to become one. That is what has happened here. As you come full circle, because lizards, we know, regenerate their tail. It can be popped off and they can regrow it. So many times you might have come close and gotten close and it pops off and you miss it, pops off and you miss it, pops off and you miss it. And all this encroaching energy, which usually this is eternal life, but right now it's encroaching energy, like feeling like the clock is ticking, that biological clock. Maybe you're getting older, it's all pressing in, or bills are due, whatever. It's that thing coming in on you. And that tail regrows, rises up to meet you. That's the power of Saturn that he's been bringing in, because he is actually synergizing along with Jupiter. They have not been malefic in any way. What we weren't used to is they're coming together. And so we were seeing if something unsavory, unlucky, unlovely, testing, taxing, stressing, that type of energy. And they're like, no, we're ready to complete. We're ready to bring it together. We do not compete. We complement. And now the fire is burning, your passion is awakening, and you are opening and you're seeing who you are and what you're here for. And that doesn't mean what to do. That means, like, what do I want to do? What do I enjoy? What fulfills me? What makes me happy? And not just the realm of earn the paycheck, put the roof over the head, feed the family, make this money, be this powerful person, fulfill my purpose. They're like, your sole purpose was to be here. Okay? Now let's discover your soul. That's why it is a victory. It's a guaranteed win. Maybe that's why some of us don't do it. We want the struggle and the fight, the attention, the accolades. No. But it's some of that feeling the challenge in order to feel worthy to overcome. And they're like, that is not what this is about at all. This is about receiving of the fullness of who you are, being able to enjoy and utilize who you are. It's not like you just gonna be lazing about doing nothing. No, this is very action oriented. It's action potential. So it's completing the circuit of your potential, crossing the arc junction through questioning of yourself, not questioning like you ain't good enough, but more like, oh, what do you like? And that turns it over into the actual, and it begins to get the wheel of turning. What wheel? The wheel of fortune. What wheel? Your zodiac wheel. They're the same thing, the eye of God. And then that eye turns and it opens and looks right at you. Right now, somebody said, oh, you turn that right there, the pyramids are going to open to you. You'll be like, hello. You turn that right there, you're going to go on your magic dream vacation right now. Hello. We'd be like turning and turning and turning. But here we've got this fascinating ruby going on. All these facets, right, coming together in pure, perfect mathematical precision and perfection to bring out your fire and your passion inside. Aries, sound familiar? That's what's happening. Look at you. And you're so multifaceted, not just the ruby. Many treasures of the heart. But what is coming in next, so you're showing me there's a crisscross, because the cards are out. I haven't looked at what they are, but they're now speaking. There's some sort of crisscross we're going to get to. Okay, so this is leading us into joy. Now we're crossing a junction, action potential. I see what you're saying. So it's leading us into joy. Travail is ended. I'll say the tail falling off is ended. You know, being in threat, being in chaos, being in kind of like on watch, on guard, that type of thing is ended, is what they're talking about here. Fruit bearing, new energy, clarity, and heaven on earth. But what else? When you're complete, it is heaven on earth. See, that is the key that opens it, is self. That completion. Feeling complete, knowing you're complete, because like feeling in your feeler, into the depths of your bones, into the soul seed of yourself. That's what we have going on. But you're having us cross over here, and we're going to step into what else is coming along. Okay, you're like, what else, Joy? I said, well, there's a completing energy and there's a competing energy. All right, some of you, for a few select, this is something going on inside of you, one facet or both facets. For a lot of you, it is people around you and the environment around you that, and it's kind of sly, it's not so obvious. we call it a high level devil. And devil is just simply living backwards. All right. Turn it around. And it says lived. Sometimes it's the past chasing you down. Sometimes it's those repeated patterns. It's the cycles and the circuits that we don't want anymore in our life. Those that kind of just came on around and we're like, oh, it's all good. It's all great. And then later on life starts breaking down. And you don't know where that came from. Some of those old things that open up a whole bunch of mess and not a whole bunch of your treasure. Now, this is you yourself, your treasure opening up, or the person that you're connecting with, who your tail doesn't fall off when they come around. You get what I'm saying? And Michael's lighting up now. He says, pay attention. He's over here. Actually, he's like, pay attention. The one who doesn't make your tail fall off, who doesn't make you want to run away and hide, who, you know, there isn't that threat. There isn't competition. The absence of competition. So if competition is absent, something would have to be present, and that's compliments. Maybe it's not even just a flow of words like I'm complimenting you. What if it's something that they very much, it feels familiar, it feels kind, it feels easygoing, your belly's at rest, right? You don't lose sleep, there's no struggle, there's no all this buzzing about in the head. That's some of what he's talking about. But we're crossing over this juncture to go back and to see what's going on in this. It's not like a straight up lemniscate. It's like some blunted thing, dented in the dryer, friend. And we have coming in separation, except it was incoming, right? It's upside down. We have it inverted. So that's us looking at the back here, okay? Acknowledge, act, innovation, benefit, honesty required, and radical change. Now it's really showing up honesty required and radical change. It's like a crescendo, really stepping in. It starts with the others and it builds to that. And it builds to you being honest with yourself about what really is heaven on earth. Like we tolerate a lot, y'all. We're not called to tolerate behaviors and attitudes. And if we don't look at the person, we look at the behavior and the attitude, we look at the energy, then we know when to remove ourselves from it and when to step forward. And that's how we can begin to navigate, how we can stand in our truth, which is what Victory is actually talking about today, the pure perfection of our truth, of knowing ourselves. And what we will and won't put up with from ourselves, then why would we put up with it from anyone else? Being lured in, baited, going against your grain, that type of thing. But we become so comfortable with being uncomfortable here in this world, especially in America. It's like it's got to be hard, sweat of your brow, no pain, no gain, those type of theories. And, although they can produce, is the fruit always sweet? Is your belly relaxed? Well, so this is crossing the juncture over to your sun. This is stepping into your sun, and it's messing with how you see things. It's also messing with your foundational truth and how you rest at night. Not just sleeping your mind, your soul. At night is when our cerebrospinal fluid does this full assimilating of the change, disseminating of the information that's been deposited throughout the day. So it's where you either get ahead or you get behind. Y'all, I'm telling you, this sounds all like whatever, but let me tell you, I'm looking forward to getting on the other side, because these are the answers to some mysteries, some cycles that have plagued for a long time that don't be turned off. Sweet little lizard, thank you. This is our treasure, but we're talking about those false ones that came before and it opened up like a bunch of pop junk from a cereal box or a gumball machine, that type of thing. And you're like, I paid $1 million for 7 gumballs. What are you talking about? I gave up all this beauty in my life for this. That was that old juncture, that old trickery, that old lying to yourself of what you will and won't tolerate. So that's why here at this channel, they talk about us being solar, being in our sun, being our shine, kind of like I said in the intro, is we don't sell ourselves out. We don't need to sell ourselves, period. If we'll offer ourselves the advantage of who we are and who our chart is to ourselves first, okay? Then we become very centered, very grounded, very rooted in our truth, very knowledgeable about ourselves. So that way we know our own energy, that when it begins to get manipulated, played, tugged, or pulled, we don't have to be in this thing of I'll deal with that later. No, we take a quick bathroom break and we talk to ourselves. We are like, what is up? And it's like, I don't know. I just don't feel right around such and such, that person. And you'll be like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? This is self-talk, y'all, okay? And what do you want me to do about it? Might say, just going home for the night. And you'll be like, okay. And all of a sudden you get in the car and you're like, I don't know what that was. Before you singing and you grooving, you're like, boy, I sure feel good. I'm glad I did that. And you won't even know the relief till you're free of it. That's why this is sitting here. Permission for your heart to soar in your heart. It's like, you trusted me. These are the seeds of trust. the infinite possibilities. When you trust yourself, infinite possibilities open up. How about that for some magic? When you trust yourself. So that's what it says. Say you went to the bathroom, you took the break, maybe you go out to get a breath of fresh air, whatever, or to take a phone call, and you just talk to yourself, and you're like, what do I do? And it's like, go back in there, but circulate around the crowd. And anytime they start to approach, notice something and what it is about it. What it is about them going on that is causing this rub, this friction, this front, this storm, this, yay, this competition. Now, it is difficult that the sun is coming in as competition. You and your soulness, you and your divine self, and someone's coming that is competition. And they're going to take you out and take you down at some point because of the energies that they're entertaining in themselves. If they will entertain it in themselves, they bring it with them everywhere they go. And everywhere they go, there they are. And if you're around everywhere they go, you're there, then it's coming into your world, even though you wouldn't tolerate it for yourself. So she's like, don't tolerate it around. She's smiling. She's like, it's simple. And now I'm like, yeah, that is simple and divine. So you acknowledge that you're feeling that feeling, and then you take action. Not just your decisive action, right? This is an inhaling, a breathing into the fragrance of knowing yourself. And it can change from time to time, minute to minute, moment to moment. But it keeps you in dialogue with yourself, which what puts you more in your sun, more in your strength, more in your power, more in your magnificence, your beauty, your bossness, whatever it is that you flexing up on, right? But it's about you. With you, isn't anything going to step in, he says, and separate you from yourself ever again. That's why they're talking about massage the ruby, massage and message it, stroke it. Y'all don't go there, but listen to the energy. Touch yourself, listen to yourself, divine with yourself, be with yourself. They said that's your true destiny. And from that, all streams come forward. From that, all the cosmic eggs, all the eggs of life, all the genetic DNA of your spirit that has been breathing and pulsing through you. Oh, yeah. Woo, okay. There's the waves coming because indigo is out of the way. Indigo leads to indecision, all right? So here you begin to move in the magic of your plasma. It begins to stir together because where it was looking to separate you from yourself, your refreshment, your reward, your restoration, your resurrection. Because remember, this was the tail, like the resurrecting, coming back around. It was blocking and preventing you from coming into this. But it's the sun. It's usually people, they're all glowing up and the world's drawn to them. Everybody's like, yeah. Well, of course, when their plug is in your socket and everyone else is paying the bill for their electricity, they can glow up like that. But look closely, it's like 1 billion light bulbs. It's like Christmas tree lights they done strung all on themselves. When you look closely, you're like, oh, that's not them glowing. They got stuff on them. It's artificial light. All right, well, that's not crowned with joy. So we're looking to clear this and to move it out and to bring you back into your true solarness. So you say, I see. Oh, look at your I see. That's what this foundational truth of your sun is. Look at your I see, your coli. Your coli is your 4th house. So right where the 4th house, where it goes, if you look generally on the outside, it'll say which side of the zodiac, Aries, Sagittarius, whatever. When you look more towards the center, like out here, that's where it'll be say. If you look more towards the center, like right around here, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, look where 3 and 4 touch. That's the beginning of the 4th house. Whatever zodiac sign that's in is what your IC sign is. And that is what they're talking about here. Whew! Y'all, I walked right on into that. Didn't even know what's happening. What's up? Pray for me. Love me. I don't know. Compliment me down below. Correct me if you have to. But here they were talking about your IC. And that's when you begin to get the balance. And this is where you see all the facets. The light can now enter into you and who you are because you realize you're radiant, you're divine, and you are loved. You're not here to tolerate any fuggery and any of that displacement, any of that artificial light of other people. No, your energy is for you to synergize with life, to synergize with beauty and development, because as you open and you walk forward in that, talk about evergreen. Just that alone, when others come and draw towards that and their eyes are open into their oneness, into their solarness, into their beauty, just from the power of your presence, just from this emanating light of who you are. Because you know yourself. That's so much of what this hermit is showing up in this deck. It's like the is it the no, it's not the mezuzah. That's what they hang on the door. Menorah. It's this giant candelabra, right? It's one stem of you, baby, and it is the whole city of lights. It's the real fire, the real passion, the real truth, and the crowning victory is the knowledge of oneself. And you come into that and you begin to look like Michael here. That's why he defends and protects this for us all. Michael is a synergy of a multitudinous energy, like millions, facets, all sorts of things. And it brings forth this radiant, like sparky light of like motivation and inspiration tying together with your high heart. And here, I got to look at these, y'all. They just like joy. Okay, so let me keep going. But this is how I knew. This is how I knew flowers and fruit. But look, this one's called flowers. And what do we see here? Flowers. This one is attached to the branch. This one is cut off. They're still trying to drive this home. The reason they have artificial lights is they have been cut off. Whether they cut themselves off from themselves or whatever, you can't do that work for another person. That's why I tell y'all to tune in here or share the playlist with somebody who actually needs it. Because they tune in here, they'll be restored to themselves. Not from anything I do. I'm just tuning into the airwaves and speaking out the message because I am just the microphone. But this is the message of divinity, of life, of your soul self, of these things coming through. And it lets you know it wants you to be restored in the branch. Now, the thing is that brings forth the song, the light, the awakening, the dawn. This flowers is talking about happiness. Now, just so you know, when I'm over here talking about the spiritual DNA, with her, the magic of who you are, happiness is actually the fabric of what we're made of. Like right now, I'd say this is cotton. Well, if I said this, I'm like, oh, I'm happiness. What are you made of, Joy? I am made of happiness. That's why they say, you know, you try and get it, you can't find it. Joy's everlasting. Okay. But happiness is actually what we were made of. It is our birthright, is our permission. Joy is our individuation of love. Okay. Love is a collective experience. Joy is the individuation of it. Because what means love to you is different than what means love to me. Like, you know, somebody spends time with me. I'm like, oh, I am loved. It doesn't have to be quantity, quality. And I feel loved, and like then I'm beaming with joy and feeling all happy and just, you know, fantastic. Even when I do that for myself to myself, right? Spend time with myself. It's the same type of effect. You know, what means love to you will bring about a different aspect, different facet of joy. But so here, when we're talking about the flute, it is all cut off. Because I know those things laying down all there, but see, that flute's cut off. It was a bamboo reed cut off, but it needs a mouth to play it. It needs a hand to play it. So the happiness is up to you. If that's what you're made of, that's your instrument, then play it. Tune your streams, you know, strings, right? Instruments have strings, most of them. Tune your streams. That's your eye of God. That's your chart. That's this here. And when you spend that time with yourself, you dialogue with yourself, you acknowledge and you act and you innovate. That innovation is you begin to know and really hone in and tune into yourself and start to feel the magic of who you are. Playing these streams of your consciousness, the awareness of who you are and the beauty and the power of who you are. You don't settle for fuggery anymore. You don't settle for and tolerate. You don't sit there and compromise. Those are things that are half energies. They're indigos. They're fluctuations. They're called in-betweens. And the thing is, those in-betweens, they don't have a bridge. That's a chasm. That's a plummet. That's a cliff. That's a drop off. That is a death and another resurrection. Thus the tail falling off. And then they're just being gumballs and, you know, Cracker Jack prizes in there. All right. I'm not hating on Cracker Jacks. Okay. So that leads to disappointment in a friend or a lover. But what I'm feeling strongly here for many of you, Aries, it leads to disappointment in yourself. So you rise up with more horned determination and like, I'll do better next time. I'll make more effort. I'll draw closer. I'll have more of my winning personality. Not that you need people to like you. You want people to value what you contribute and what you bring. And that's very much this power. And he's like, it's all about you. Michael is like, tip over here. Thank you. Michael, pick my good side, baby. But whatever. He's like, it is all about you. It isn't about them. That magnificent power, that instinct, that drive, that spark. He's like, light yourself up. Set yourself on fire. And this is a fire, nothing to be afraid of, because this fire does not consume. Okay, it creates. It stimulates. It initiates. It initiates this, the power of knowing yourself. And in that, then you begin to see so much more clearly of who you are and what you were here for, because the what is not so much a do and saving of the world, and all that is enjoying, embracing, experiencing, connecting, so that it leads to this nurturing effect, okay, that you desire and long for. It's a completing power for you. So they're talking about don't compete with this energy anymore. Don't buck up against it. Don't push up against it. Don't try and test its limits or its boundaries. Just begin to be intimate with yourself. Begin to know yourself. And then that challenge, not the healthy challenge. We're talking about competition, right? Meaning it's me versus you. And somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to lose. If you've ever seen Running Man way back in the day, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that was like the first reality TV show. Not a real one, but in the movie. And you don't win, you die, right? And you want to win. And so that's why it was so driven. But you're living life as if it's a competition. Okay? And thinking that you're contributing win-win, but they're saying you always lose because you're in a spirit of competition. So you're divided against yourself instead of unified. You're dividing your energy. And you become cut off, just like these flowers that begin to fade and die. The feeling fades and dies. Just like that flute, there is no music being played. And the burden is in your heart going, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Or gonna. And it begins to burn you and consume you. And that's why you're like, that's why I don't want that ruby. I don't like that feeling. They're like, this ruby is the ruby of truth. This is the ruby of life. This is the ruby that connects yourself to yourself. Crosses that juncture with the question of knowing yourself, right? Over into the action potential. It creates it. So then what was once at rest now becomes in motion. Okay, and what was once in motion can now become at rest. It becomes that beautiful cycle of the Wheel of Fortune, which is work and play. It's the balance of life. It's temperance. It's everything that this is all about. We have all these characters and other things in the tarot cards and whatever to come to that one point of living life and being in balance with yourself, because work is rewarding up to a certain extent, right? And then play and rest and rejuvenation is rewarding to a certain extent, but the two come together. That dollar is going to spin. For your dollar to spin, both the front side and the back side have to be authentic. Okay. So I want to get you a card to move on forward out of here. Who are we going with? You're talking about Sir Marchetto. Ooh, look at the bottom. You talk about King of Coins being established in this world order, being established in this victory of knowing yourself, possessing yourself. Because to me, the pinnacle, just like the Five of Wands, it's about knowing yourself, discovering yourself, and coming into the, we're just going to, okay, I thought there were two. You tricky. 3. About knowing yourself, all right, and being confirmed in that. What are you talking about? The Hierophant, the Star, and the... How did that happen? The power of knowing yourself. Remember, knowing who you are, this confirmation of the Hierophant. And as you know who you are, remember, it opens up the lungs of your victory. It opens up that confidence of not what you will and won't tolerate, what you're here for. That it's not about taxing yourself and putting up with that low-lying energy or burning yourself up or consuming your power, the up and the down and all that and the in and the out. No, it's literally coming into the state of the glow, of the know, okay? Of the now. And then that begins to light you up, and it helps you enter into that phase of where it crosses the juncture, and for you, it causes the wheel to turn. Not just from what's at rest goes into motion. Well, what's in motion also returns to rest, which then becomes a flywheel, which kicks it, and the weightedness keeps it in those perpetual motion, in eternal motion, and your life begins to have rhythm and rhyme and reason. Something that speaks to you in your chest. Something that speaks to you all the way up and down, aligning you, and very much, you're talking about titillating your Scorpio, moving into that place, and you begin to grow in your authority and power, and the understanding and the delight of who you are and what you're here for. And that doesn't mean accomplishment. That means the pleasure, the fun, the enjoyment, the work and the play. All right? Now, this may not seem otherworldly, but let me tell you, sometimes when they're the most basic and most domestic is when the wild, outrageous things happen. To me, when I talk about something being radical or revolutionary, it's actually basic. Because when we get back to the basics, everything is built upon that. Everything is built upon your IC, your foundation. Well, the news story broke here in Aries. Check out your IC, where the 3rd and the 4th house touch, where they kiss, and then go listen to that reading, okay? On this week, message, massage, the ruby. All right, friend? Leave me comments down below. Let me know what's going on the other side. I love you. Talk to you real soon. Bye.